Hi, I'm Todd Jones, host of the podcast Pressbox Access. Here's a clip from my interview with Marla Ridenour. Marla puts us on the parade route when LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers celebrated their magical NBA championship in 2016. You were also in Cleveland for probably the happiest day in the city's history, at least in 52 years. You were there on June 22nd, 2016, when the Cavs had their victory parade 3 days after they won the NBA championship at Golden State. What was that scene like in Cleveland?
Well, I mean, I'm still sort of amazed that there were no barricades on the street. I mean, it was, I have to set this up because, I wasn't the beat person. I was covering the team with Jason Lloyd, but they were only allow a few of us to follow LeBron's car during the parade. And Jason decided he was going to stay at the end, kind of in this little media pen where they were having the ceremony, and he let me follow LeBron's car. So I walked, it took forever. I mean, the car was inching along, but
So you're right behind LeBron James's car, like Secret Service or something.
well, right. I mean, I have a picture in my office. I'm looking at it right now where, I'm like there's like three, I'm like in the third row behind LeBron, the bumper of the car, the whole way. Um, but like I said, there's no barricades at the beginning. They try to use cops with bicycles to sort of like keep the people back, but that didn't even work for like 5 minutes.
No,
I
that's
mean,
done.
like it's
Not with there was 1 million people there.
I mean,
Think about that.
it's a
First
sea,
championship in 52 years, 1 million people turn out in downtown Cleveland.
it's a sea of humanity. I mean, I parked my car at the airport and took the rapid to get down there because I didn't I didn't want to risk driving into town. Now, apparently, I could have done it, um, but I mean, my that was just following LeBron. The people got closer and closer, and eventually they got somewhat. What are you doing here? Like I bailed out right before he turned into the area where they were having this celebration, for TV. But it was just, I mean, I don't, it was like everybody was so like together as one. There was no, like, I mean, obviously they all wanted a picture of LeBron. So it was no wonder there was such a crush. But, there was people that came from like Texas and, God, everywhere, all over the country just for this moment. I mean, you could have had more than 1 million people. If it had been a little bit better organized. The the whole thing was just the joy, the scenes that you saw along the way. My favorite one was actually before it even started when the team got together in the what it was Quicken Loans Arena then, and then they came out to get on, in these cars and these floats, and Ernest Biner is there,
Mm.
and he's like, and he talks to Ty Lue. Ty's like, well, what are you doing for the parade? And he had I think Biner had his wife with him too. Ty invites them to ride on their flatbed. So he
Oh, that's great.
invited, I mean, that was just such a moment. Like, I felt like there were so many ghosts of Cleveland erased, like the drive and the fumble and the shot. And I just felt like that when I was so cool to see Lou invite Biner up there for that, just to help him, you know, get over this, and enjoy the euphoria that he really wanted in Cleveland. That was, to me, that was probably my favorite moment. But I will tell you this, like, we're out in front of the cathedral on Ninth Street, and um, Savannah, LeBron's wife, turns around and just to take a look at what, her. There was a truck in the behind them with LeBron's mom and their little their
Hmm.
daughter was small. So Savannah turns around to kind of check on the baby, and she sees how close everyone is, and there was this, oh my God, like panic look in her eyes, like I think she realized how quickly this could have kind of turned, if people just got out of control. I mean, because by then it's hours in, you figure people were, having a few, cocktails, they snuck in
Just a
or whatever.
few.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it could have gone horribly wrong, but everyone was so, like I said, united in joy. It wasn't really, there wasn't that kind of, I mean, she saw that and I agreed with her because the people were pressing in on us too. So I can totally, and she had her sons in the car with her, but it was still like, not like I expected it to be. People were so close. It was
Yeah.
almost suffocating,
Yeah, like you said, it could have gone the wrong way, but to Cleveland's credit, it did not. It was just pure joy and celebration. I remember the moment when LeBron and Jim Brown were together. Did you get to witness that, the trophy handoff?
No, but I actually had a dream about that on the plane on the way to Atlanta during that year of the playoffs. We're flying to Atlanta.
Before it happened?
Before it happened. I'm sleep, and I hardly ever slept on the plane, but I slept on the plane, and I woke up, and I'm like, and the ending was Jim Brown and LeBron, the trophy, and I was like, then I was blown away that, I mean, I hardly ever dream about stuff like that.
What happened?
Well, and then it happened. I mean, I just, like, I mean,
Well,
usually
maybe all those years of having to cover, like, you had to go into all those disastrous situations like you were FEMA or something. Maybe after covering all that heartbreak and the losses, Cleveland especially deserved you to be there when the good things were happening.
No, I like I said, I know Jason is still ticked off that the fact that he did not walk like I did. But, it was a long, hot day, and I certainly wasn't prepared. I had the right shoes on, but I certainly didn't have enough water or whatever. But it was worth every minute.
Well, it's the kind of day that obviously sticks out in a career of, all sports writers who spend a lot of years covering sports. There's a lot of days that are just regular old days. It's a bad basketball game on a Tuesday night, and nobody cares. But once in a while, you get a thunderbolt moment, and you've had quite a few of those to hit you. Like anything, does that rise to the top? Is that moment, in terms of things that you witnessed?
Yeah, I would have to say that's number one, especially because of LeBron being from Akron. Me working for his hometown paper. I mean, he always took care of his local peeps, even the superstar that he is. I think, and I didn't cover him in high school. The first game I covered LeBron was McDonald's All-American game, but he was always loyal to us and took care of us. So, I mean, it was almost like that moment was it, because I was so freaked out after they won when I was at the game that I almost didn't know what to do that night. So I felt like,
you mean what am I going to write? This actually did occur.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's like I screwed up that night. I didn't go down close to the court and watch. I went to the back waiting for the locker room to open, like I was trained to do. I didn't stand. I watched the celebration, and I could have been right down there close. I watched it on TV instead of being there for that. So, but I felt like the parade was much more about the people and the city and the team and everything anyway. So, especially since they won it on the road.
Right. Yeah. That historic comeback down 3-1 to come back like that and win that title, the first one in 52 years for the city. What a great moment. Marla, you're still doing it. You've been covering sports for what? This is your 45th year, I believe.
Oh God, I'm past counting because you don't want to remember.
Well, all right, but you know what? In all seriousness, what an amazing career! You got to cover some great moments, big time athletes and coaches. You got to go places. What keeps you going? You're still fighting a good fight for the Akron Beacon Journal. What keeps you going?
I hate to say this, but I really want to see the Browns get to the Super Bowl. I mean, not for the fan part of me, but I feel like I've spent since 1981 covering the NFL, and you know, you know how you always root for the good story. I'm rooting for the good story for me too.
Well, that was always the answer, right? Somebody says, "Do you root?" And you're like, "I root for myself."
Right,
Right,
right.
right. Especially on deadline, whatever the best, easiest story right now, that's who I'm rooting for.
But things do not come full circle in life. I know that, but I'm still, I don't want to walk away when they seem to finally be turning it around. So, we'll see if all the demands of online journalism and late nights and everything. We'll see if I can make it.
Well, I really admire the fact you're fighting a good fight. You're still writing great columns. You're still in the thick of it. You're right there in the middle of the parade, even when the parade is going wrong. And I really hope that at some point in your career you can wrap it up with that story that does complete the circle, because, we write for the people who have all the passion for the teams and the athletes that we cover, and we want them to enjoy that, right? We want them to be able to celebrate, and we cover enough losses, right, Marla?
No, you're not kidding. And like I said, I'm not counting that winning percentage right now. Maybe when I'm done, I will.
Well, thanks a lot, Marla. We really appreciate it, and we wish you all the best. It's been a lot of fun to recount some great moments in your career.
Thanks so much. It's great being here.